Yayo, Tuesday Night Live, episode 2. Welcome, welcome, dudes. So, what I'm going to do right quick to start episode 2 off is, God, I can't see anything. To start episode 2 off, I want to reflect on episode 1. Just a couple of things that kind of really stuck with me all week. Taylor Cherney mentioned that we get used to mediocrity, and I'm paraphrasing. We can look back in the comments, but it's such a true statement. Like what is enough, and only we truly know if we're giving it enough and whatever we're doing, right? But like, if we get used to mediocrity, how do we know that we're used to mediocrity, right? So that's a question I've been sitting on real hardcore this week. Maybe bringing it back to light with the group here. Some of you guys could jump on here and talk about what that means to you, or what stuck out to you over this last week. Let's see. There was one other thing: mediocrity. Oh, and in as we're thinking about that, as much as the body can get used to mediocrity, it can also get used to stresses that can then gain positivity from it. So just because we're in condition A doesn't mean we can't get to condition B, whatever it is for you, right? So, so the body, what we want to get out of it is truly what we put into it. So let's kind of expand on that if that comes natural. The other thing that stuck with me this week is maybe Jared somebody mentioned him or something, but about that we're God-centered. Absolutely, we have to be God-centered. We have to have a moral compass, because if we don't, like, where are we going, right? And so no matter where you're at in that, just know that. So let's see. And I just want to commend T-Pain on his home gym. That's sweet setup. So whatever space you've got, create the space and it can grow, right? I guarantee he didn't just start out with that. So great job, dude. Thanks for that. I've got a sauna box, 2-person sit down, so it's not real tall. Sauna box brand, wet sauna, and I love it. So if you're not saunaing in life, you need to be. So let's see. T-Pain, I see you on here. Do you want to come on the live? Do you have anything you'd like to share with the group here? I don't know if I can see any comments. Oh, okay, here we go, Jared Stice. I'm going to approve Jared first. T-Pain, we'll see if you want to. I'm going to bring Jared on because I see it here. Send request. Hey, there he is, Mr. Jared Stice. Thanks for joining Dude Reset here on Tuesday Night Live, episode 2. We made it all the way here. Can you believe it?
Hello, sir. We did, yeah. That's better than normal. That's good.
Yeah, crazy.
Resetting.
Yeah. So real quick, just because I really sat with this real big this week, the mediocrity thing that Taylor Cherney, there was so much going on in that last live that not everything got brought back up, which brings me to another point. So, but the mediocrity, the body get used to mediocrity. How do we know if we've gotten used to mediocrity? Like, you know what I mean? What if we're just absolutely flatline getting after it, but really that's only like 30%. Like, what is that? Is it all in the head? Is it all like? Let's chat about it, sir.
Sam, T-Pain, if you want to join, or anybody else, on the mobile app down the lower left, there's a little person and a plus sign you can request to join. We're going to practice through that today. The mediocrity, Sam, you've heard me say a lot, like, I can do more in 3 hours than most people do in 8 hours of their job. So if we don't think we're mediocre, just think about your job. most of us, however it is, there's only a certain amount of effort that's required to, exist and stay there with everybody, stay on par, I guess. How about on par? And then we look at ourselves, I'm the same way. I'm probably the most agitated person that I see people just floating, and I can't tolerate it. I'm not very tolerable. I need to work on that. That's one of my virtues I need to work on. But yeah, mediocrity is real. I worked on my health app this week, changing some times and really getting that down because I'd never gotten into it. Apple Health, everything that's there on an iPhone, I got in. And so now I established my times that I'm going to sleep in, like I told you. I established my days that are workout. And if that changes, that's fine, but I at least know what it is going into the week. So that was a big win that I had this week. So
You had some questions. Did you not have a few questions that you would like to
yeah,
potentially bring in and pose and try to activate? I'm looking here, and I don't know if there's I don't know what I'm really looking at, but
sure.
if you can see any comments, I've got my computer up, but I don't see the video, so I'm not going to stress too hard. But here we go. All
Yep.
right,
You're gonna have
cool.
to go on the right side. You can see that live chat and see everything over there. T-Pain's the only one that said anything so far.
Yeah, just
Last
show it
week,
up, dog. Okay.
last week we had great engagement. A lot of people in and out the whole time, but average 7 to 9 people there. And I mean, whether that's good, bad, or sad, whatever it is our first one. So, and I had people texting me. I tried to type a lot over there on the side. Really glad that Michael was joining us. I had a few things written down last week, and one of the people, one of the questions I get a lot about Dude Reset is what is it? And it's really just why do you need a reset? What are you looking for in a reset? What caused this? Here's T-Pain joining us. That's good. What's going
Yo, what
on?
up? Nothing, man. Just got back from basketball practice, so
We're good.
barely made it just in time.
What grade
Perfect.
and
Thanks
age?
for joining.
Fourth grade,
Nice.
9, 10-year-olds. Yeah.
Perfect.
Rascals.
Yeah. Bunch of non-listening kids is what they are.
So good. We figured out how we can bring some guys on here, and if you're staying live with us here, he's got some questions he's going to bring to the group. So he's just going to guess what, bring the both of us right quick. So you're playing. So Jared, lay
Right on.
a question on us, and let's see what transpires.
Do you want me to blast these 5 out real quick, Sam, that I chose, and then we can kind of talk about any of them?
Sure.
Okay. So I think everybody at some point needs a reset, and whatever it is, as big or small as it is, what made you need that reset? And it could be stress, it could be work, it could be our health, whatever. Then I came up with favorite fitness routine. I want people to share about their favorite fitness routine. We talk about daily food intake, and some guys are just stuck on the road. They're a victim of their circumstances there with their food. So that's free. Who's unmuted? And then we talked about the struggles, like what keeps you from being able to have that reset, what makes you fall off the bandwagon or something like that. And then we talked about the accountability of the group. So those were the big 5 things that I took. And I just told Sam, like, I feel like if today we did one thing where we just said, are these the 5 questions that we want people to answer? It gives you a format when you're trying to speak to the group. I just saw Josh in there, I think, posting about being out hunting, and talking about weight loss. Well, not everybody's about weight loss. Not everybody's about an alcohol struggle. So I think if we came up with those 5 questions, whatever that might be, that's my goal for today.
I like it. Can you repeat the questions? Just run through them real fast.
Sure. Why the reset? Favorite fitness routine or stress reliever that you found? Talk about your daily food intake, what that looks like, what the struggle with the reset has been now that you've kind of identified it, written down, and designed it, and then talk about the power of accountability and what you want from the group. So,
Nice.
and they can change. I'll put them over there in
Sure.
the comments.
T-Pain, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, daily routine. Well, first thing is just hopefully you wake up in the morning. That's probably pretty good. It's a constant struggle to maintain that motivation, but I think we've talked about motivation before. I think motivation is there, but it only gets you so far. So it takes the discipline to turn that into motivation, maybe. Um, daily workout routines. I try to think about when I'm maybe on the treadmill, when I get up, say it's a Monday morning, and I get up and I'm going to walk. I'm going to do something. And then during that walk, if I haven't thought about it from the day before, I take a mental note of my workout that I'm going to do after I do my walk or my run. And then when I'm in the sauna, after I do 45 minutes on the treadmill and then I do chest and back. Well, then when I'm in the sauna, decompressing, thinking about everything, I think about what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm already thinking about what am I going to do tomorrow? Got to make it better tomorrow. And then the cycle that I always fell into was, yeah, I'll think about that. And then I'll kind of stick to the same routine all week. I'll do upper, lower, core and walk. But then at the end of that 4 or 5 or 6 days, how many days you worked out, you have to confuse the body and the muscles. So you want to switch that up. You always got to be constantly thinking about, I got to make my body like scared to death about tomorrow. What am I going to do tomorrow to be better today? So everybody has their system and the way they want to do things, and it helps to just constantly have that in your cognitive space. What am I going to do to be better? Who am I going to talk to about it? If I have somebody to talk to about it, what am I going to do to make myself better every day? And daily routines, you never know what's going to happen in a day. You can be flying along and you got this plan and the plan gets shattered. But you have to step up and make that shatter an improvement overall, cognitively, physically, mentally. And a lot of us on here are probably, everyday life gets overwhelming and you just got to try to stay positive and move forward. But it helps that I have a pretty good support system and friends and family to look up to and after. And I try to stay communicative with everybody in my life. I don't care if it's friends you haven't seen them forever. I know one that's on here, my best bud, Kendall Manners. He lives there in Parsons. A lot of you probably know Kendall. And I don't care if I reach out to him and say, hey, brother, I love you, or I send him a funny video. I try to stay connected with a certain amount of people to make my day seem more fulfilled. So as far as workouts go, I would say don't overthink it, but get out there and move. Do something for yourself, and the benefit will come, and you talk about diet. I reach out in the morning. What I do lately, which has helped me, is I did carnivore strict for like 90 days when this first thing kicked off, and I shred like 30 pounds in like a month. And then it plateaued because I kind of went off carnivore and kind of just ate whatever I wanted, but I ate once a day. Well, if you don't get that protein in, you're not going to get the gains or the losses that you want. And it's about, just like even with alcohol or whatever it is you're struggling with, it's all about keeping it at a level that you can manage. So eating, I get my protein. I've given up anything white, anything sugar, anything bread. On the weekends, I'll have a little Mexican food, maybe throw in some tortillas, but I eat pretty much once a day and I try to fast as much as possible. I usually eat about 1 or 2 in the afternoon and I don't eat for the rest of the day. And I'll get 5, 6, 7 eggs in, a steak, chicken, little vegetables, little leafy greens here and there. I might have a little leftovers from my kids' dinner, but it's just a bite or two. But if you're not going to bed hungry and you're trying to lose weight, that's where you should be. Everybody's goal is different though. Some of y'all are skinny, can eat and drink whatever the fuck you want. But I got a buddy I used to work with. He's 6'2", I don't know, 180. He'd drink 12, 15 Dr. Peppers a day. If I did that, I would be huge. But the goals are all individual and you have to learn your body and know what to expect from your body. And you can't expect results immediately. And you have to be accountable for your feelings, your family, your friends. And that's all I got. So let me know what you think.
That was that's a chapter in the Dude Reset book right there. That was very well said. And
I will say, let me add this, and I think I put it on the last week's episode. If you plan to learn, you must learn to plan. And that's diet, daily activities, whatever it is. But you can't just sit around and wait for it to happen. You have to take action. So
I like it. I like all of it. I'm gonna. There's so much we can just dive in off of that. Like, I agree with just get the body moving. Once you are moving and once you kind of have something established, I'm completely opposite. Where my first year back in the gym, I was kind of like sporadic. I was doing, a good split, but different this, different that, different weights, wasn't keeping track and all the things. And that's when I got my second year, and now into my third year, I got with Michael Shepard, the flex daddy dude in the pictures. And
dude, swole.
Yeah, he's a professional bodybuilder, right? And his message is you got to do the same thing over and over and over, the exact same thing, as close to the same time of day as you can, eating the same kind of thing, and you got to do the same thing for. Really, in his world, it's years.
Same
But
kind
like
of thing. You got to do the same thing for really.
somebody needs to turn down. Yeah,
That's
sorry, man. Yeah, but his message is doing the same thing. 12 weeks minimum, and that takes the confusion out of the body. It takes the confusion out of the mind, out of the nervous system. So now you're going in, and the body goes, "This is what we're doing today," and it almost gets where it's muscle memory. And then once you keep track, and then you see the growth over time. That's when you can see that cause and effect, and a lot of things, or anything, fitness aside or included, you jump into it 3 to 6 weeks, and it's just like gangbusters. I'm feeling good. It's almost placebo effect, but it's then that 6 weeks to that 6 month mark that matters, and that's what matters in our lives. That's what matters in dudes' lives. If we're trying to get more professional, if we're trying to get more fit and the things of the like. So I like that. And then I like the next step saying, okay, maybe this is how we relearn the body, we retrain the mind. So anyway, just a school of thought to go with. I'm learning some of this stuff in this course I'm taking, so I get to kind of tattletale on some of that stuff. I'm almost done, but let's see, another thing that you were saying.
I will add to that. Sorry to interrupt you. I will add to that. If you're not taking a supplement of some sort, whatever your body needs, it could be vitamin B12, it could be iron, whatever your health conditions are, you should definitely be taking creatine in some shape or form. Take it. It will change your physical and even mental stability and develop muscle growth as a gentleman that's over 35 and on. You're going to see your testosterone just dip out. And yeah, you could get a doctor and take some TRT, which I did for a while. I think it kind of boosted me, but creatine has changed my life. And I started taking it back when I was in my 20s, when I was not a fat ass and I was shredded. But back then they said, "Oh no, it's bad for you." But I'm thinking the complete opposite, like everything else that we always were told that was bad for us, like eggs. Like I eat so many eggs, man. Eggs are a superfood. You should eat them. But to add to that, I would find a supplement that you're comfortable taking. Maybe you need to speak to your doctor before, but creatine is not going to hurt you. It's going to do nothing but help you. And not to be weird, but even in the bedroom, you're going to notice it. You take creatine for about a month, you're going to be turgid, man. You're going to have turgidity, you know, and you're going to be having a little fun in there with the old lady or the old man or whatever you're into. But I don't want to be politically incorrect here, but take you a supplement, get you something to help with your recovery and your muscles so you're not sore. As we get older, that cortisol and all that, you know, the getting old is not for pussies. And I was feeling it a couple of years ago, and now I'm not so much. My inflammation's zero, especially when I incorporate the sauna and things that, you know, you can try to manage. But like I said, I'm kind of one of the fortunate ones. I'm lucky enough to be able to be here, and I work from home, so I'm actually sitting in my workspace,
Nice.
and I'm lucky enough to be able to sit here and work, but think about what I need to do to better myself. So I'll leave it at that. I'll shut up.
Yeah, we talked about creatine a little while back. It's the most studied supplement ever on earth, and it's proven benefits physically, mentally, all the things you said. And I was on it for, a couple of years, and then I had all my stomach stuff, so I got off of a lot and changed the diet to try to heal naturally and all the things. But I started noticing a mental decline because I've got all the issues with that anyway. And so I've been back on creatine now, I think 10 or 12, 14, whatever, a couple weeks. And I can just feel it. I just feel myself coming back. So I agree. Obviously, talk to a doctor, blah, 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 all the things. But like, even if you're not doing anything, creatine, but you got to stay hydrated. We talk about water. So we pass a lot of information in this group. So, anyway, Jared, back to you. What do you got to? What have you been observing, or what is your take on some of these questions
Sure.
that you posed?
Man, I think T-Pain, you said it in the beginning when you were talking about the sauna and all the different things and doing your walk or whatever. You said it last week, the whole plan to learn to plan, that kind of thing. And I wrote down design the day. If I don't design my day just happens. So I've really, based off what you said, what Sam's been teaching me about everything, I try to design my day. I thought it was great. I appreciate you sharing. And I don't know if more people on here will work. I was telling Cagle or even Dustin Moody if they want to jump on. I don't know if we say bye to you, Payne, and then let you watch or how that works. I can see 3 people. I don't know if everybody can, which, I want to hear more from you. I don't have necessarily anything else to go over right there other than the creatine thing. I mean, Gary Brecka was talking about dementia and what it does for elderly people. I told my wife the other day, my dreams not only are vivid and that kind of thing, which I've been on creatine for a little bit since I hurt my knee, But I'm to the point now where I remember names just like that. I can just rattle off names. And you know how bad I am at that, Sam. When somebody starts talking about something, like, I don't know anybody. I recognize them, but I don't know anybody. Now it's a whole lot different, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Creatine is I think it should be a staple, and there's a lot of hype and fluff around it. Just creatine monohydrate.
Yep.
Take 5 milligrams a day. If you're doing shit, take 10. So let's
Good.
see. While we're in a little bridge right here, and people in the group, if they're not chiming in on the answering this stuff, well, we're gonna have to corner them. But I will segue to say another thing that Taylor Cherney was talking about was the doing it like a dude circle, a dude weekend or a dude night, overnight, or a whatever, and now we're gonna be right up in my alley, like I've got a lot of layers to this stuff, and a lot of guys know me. A lot of guys don't really know what I'm all about. So we can definitely pull off an overnighter, and we'll have food and the whole bit. We'll get it all worked out. It'll be in Southwest Missouri, just just a hop, skip, and a jump south of Joplin. And my wife, she's actually done this on the women's side of things, and I helped kind of put that together with her and learned a lot. And I actually did the food for that, and so it's a very cool, very, very, very perfect setting. But we got room. We got room for people to park and camp and all stuff. They fire. We can do dude stuff. So anyway, we can pull that off for sure, because I think that's a powerful thing. A lot of guys get weirded out about, retreat type stuff and that kind of thing, and I get it. So we'll do one that'll be, it'll introduce some things. But you just sit face to face, like this is big, opening up in a digital environment. But like you sit face to face with a guy and say like, what are you really carrying? Let it come out one time, like, you know what I mean? So there's a lot that can be learned, and I've already got some rough blueprints for some retreat stuff, because that's there again. Jared and I've been talking about this for 3 years, and it's been going for 2. They got the thing that Michael was talking about down in Florida, but this is a reality too. And I'll say it to put the energy out there in the ionosphere, is I have a house in Daytona Beach that I bought when I was divorced, and now it's just sitting. So we can do real retreats. Florida's cheap to get to. We can go down there, probably groups of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, 4 or 5 or 6 of us at a time. And I've got rough itineraries for that too. It doesn't have to just be dude stuff. There can be some Florida stuff or some fishing stuff or some racing stuff or things of that nature. But hitting a reset button really does mean hitting a reset button. And even if you just 72 hours of eating clean food that you've never eaten, but it gives you this fuel and fire that you've never felt before, things like that, like standing barefoot in the sand with the ocean water coming across your feet, looking, up at the sun, like that's natural medicine. So we have vast opportunities. That's part of getting this interest and doing these lives, is getting this community growing and interacting and thriving together. Like, you know what? I want to go down there. I want to go hang with these guys, and I want to hit the reset button. That's what we're trying to do. And if we're trying to do the same thing in the same place over and over and get the same results, right? What's that definition? That's insanity. So sometimes you just got to put a break in the chain and say, I'm going to change something, and then I'm going to keep moving forward. You don't got to become a new person, but you can create some new habits. And sometimes you got to remove yourself from said environment and then get put back in the other environment. So lots of options, lots of things happening. So we can do overnights, we can do multi-dayers, we can go to Florida, we can, like I'm telling you guys, this group, man, if you're into any of this kind of stuff, this group is special, and it's just in its infancy. So anyway, that being said, who's got what?
Well, right
Can't hear
on.
you.
I'm gonna jump off the video, but I'm still gonna listen. I hope everybody takes this in and just follow some of the advice. I'd love to hear from Moody, man. Me and him might have been the strongest guys that ever walked the halls of Parsons High School. But Would love to hear from him. He's been inspiring lately, but I'm gonna jump off. I'll still be on, but I gotta go up here and kind of listen in and deal with some kids. So holla at you, boy.
Cool, man.
All right, man.
Thanks. Jared, I don't know if I can hear you. Can you hear me? Your mic's off, buddy. You hit the mic off button there in the lower left. Oh, he just jumped off. All right, I'll take the reins here. Who wants to come on? Anybody want to come on here? So, guys, do reset. Let's see. Let's do this challenge thing again because we're not quite on the interactive side tonight. So we're gonna challenge and say, like, let's see. I had this thought earlier today, and I was like, that's what we're gonna bring up tonight. It goes back to that mediocrity thing. Is sometimes you got to shake your feathers and let some things fall off so you can keep going forward, keep flying, whatever metaphor you want to do. And so, dudes in this group, we're gonna take this Tuesday Night Live, and we're gonna take what we're doing, and we're gonna keep moving forward. I've noticed in my personal Facebook friends, some guys have come into this group and then exited the group, and I think it's because we're not doing enough. I think sometimes we're trying to pick up, or hold somebody's hand, and at some point we got to say, like there's plenty of information to get yourself up off of whatever you're doing or not doing. So I think for the betterment of ourselves and the betterment of the group and the growth is we start putting some action to some of these challenges that we're doing, not just posting workouts, but like we're saying, like, this is what I'm doing in my personal life, or the group has inspired me to do this, so this is what I'm doing. Jared Cagle last week, he was so inspired he went and ran on the treadmill for an hour at the rec center at 9 o'clock at night. Well, what's he done since then, right? So that's the kind of stuff that we want to do. We want to make sure that we are stepping up every day, every time, every opportunity. Because if we're not, then what are we doing? So if you feel like I'm hard or harping, or you're getting left behind, like, I'll take myself out of the equation because I don't have to worry about that anymore in life. But if you feel like you're getting left behind, it's because you are. And if the people around you are succeeding and you've always wanted to succeed and you just don't understand why, like I just keep saying, the man in the mirror, go have a conversation with that guy. Sometimes that needs to be a really, really long conversation. But for the guys that are moving forward, like they don't want to be held back, right? Like, we've got motivation and inspiration for days, but like tighten your bootstraps, let's go, and I won't bring up names, but I've got really good friends in this group that are straight crushing life right now. Some of them are crushing it so much they don't have time to come in here and hang out, which I get it. I'm not going to be mad at them, but it's like even guys that are like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with the man. I'm going to do my own thing. Like, you know the power in that? You know the freedom in being able to wake up and make your own choices? Like, that's the kind of inspiration and motivation we want to exude in this group. We've had a lot of participation in the beginning. We get a lot of participation when shit gets heavy. And then now it's like, we're going to participate every single week. And that's why I said, throw some goals out there. Let's just write one goal. And I may check in, like I said, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever it is. So I said, hold me accountable for adding more pertinent info to the group. We're on our second week live here. And so you guys are doing that for me. It's for us. So, Jared, what is it, buddy?
Yeah, sorry I lost audio when my phone rang. Had to restart there. I invited Dustin Moody in. Hopefully he can get in. He talked about doing some of this in his area, and I was the one that invited him to the group. Just saw him made a post about, being a dude that was wanting more. And so that's how he originally got here. I'll see if he can join. It's in the lower left when you're watching on your phone, the little person with the plus sign. The other thing I was going to tell you is I got my Dude Reset planner in. Nobody else has one. Dude Reset 2026. It's what I wanted. It's still not perfect, and I knew it wasn't. It cost me $92, but it's my brain box, and it weighs a lot. It weighs a whole lot. Got plenty of room to write in there. Got a full page for every day. I'm excited about it. I'm gonna make some changes, still, and that is something that I hope we have available next year. I know Kegel and a couple other people mentioned having T-shirts and stuff. I mean, we could do that stuff anytime, but we also don't want to make a bunch of money off anybody. So if anybody's got connections, got connections to do something like that, let us know. Dustin says he's taking a shit. It'll be a minute.
Perfect. Dude,
Yeah,
reset.
yeah, that's fine. He's getting reset right now. That's good. So I'll go over this real quick if you don't mind, Sam. Jump into what this is.
Yeah, please do.
So I talk about that. I mean, Travis Payne just told us, you got to design your day. If you plan to learn, you got to learn to plan. So I put a monthly expenses and financial tracker in there because that's the stuff that matters to me. I'm always broke no matter how much I make. I put in my monthly habits. So right at the beginning, I'm going to write down my habits, and then there's just a checkbox every single day. And I mean, I write good habits and bad habits. So I've got my wake up time. Whatever time I wake up, I write the number in there. I've got whole foods. Did I eat whole foods or not? I write down beer or alcohol, and then that's not just a yes or a no, but maybe it's a how many did I have. I've got down miles. I've got down my yoga, my stretching, my gym. I've got down eating out. Did I eat out? And that's an expense that really sneaks up on us. I also have down, did I learn anything, and did I engage with anybody? So that's always something to look at. There's some objectives in here monthly. What, why, and how do I achieve it? What do I want to learn? What do I want to be? Who do I want to spend time with? And what do I want to own? And that's probably more about the time. Roles and goals. This is a kind of a grade across here. What am I doing well, and what do I want to change? And I made it real simple. Am I being myself? And then I put down husband, father, employee, son, brother, and friend. And so I'm kind of judging myself, grading myself there as I go through that. The only other thing that you mentioned earlier, and so did he, let's see, Kegel's down next Tuesday to join. His phone's about dead. Uh, every single day it says at the top, move my body. And then there's 4 circles: run, read, reflect, and connect. Just reminding me to do them. So if I get to the end of the day and I haven't done one of those 4, all I got to do is call somebody. That's how I connect. If I need to reflect, I can go back and look at my planner. I can I can talk to a friend. I can look at just my day and journal a little bit. And that run and read is just important to me. So it's got down a daily goal. It's got monthly goals and tasks. And then I'm going to keep flipping. Sam, what do you think of this so far?
I think it's fantastic. And the only thing is, and I can just keep having these daydreams, daydreams back to every grade in school. At the beginning of the year, I'd have a planner and I'd just be locked, and then every day, less and less and less attention. By the end of the semester, the quarter or whatever, like I wouldn't even do it. And I've been through so many schools and gotten so many certificates for some. I'm in one right now. Same thing. I started studying, writing everything down. Like now it's just like read it as fast as possible, take the quiz, on to the next one, and it's like
Right.
that's my problem is keeping myself accountable to journal. Or
Sure.
not even journal, keeping track of anything with a pen and paper. Anything.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I don't know. I don't make excuses.
If I write it, it exists in my mind for the rest of my life. And if I type it or say it, I'm just like, where did I type that? Who was I talking to? So again, I scratch paper all day long. I'm ridiculous how many pieces of paper I waste. I mean, trees, I'm burning them up. So I also put in here meal planning, through the week, and then it also has groceries on the right side. So this is multi-purpose. If I want to,
Mhm.
my wife says like we need to grab something, and we're pretty good about doing it online, but I can also look at what kind of meal I might want to look at there. My family is so bad about not eating leftovers, and I'm like, guys, you realize all those meals are free. If you throw them away, that's upsetting. And then I'm gonna find one more. I did some meeting notes. And so I didn't put enough pages in here. This thing was too heavy. It kept limiting me. But right on the meeting notes, it says meeting, purpose, and goals. And I meet with different people all the time. It doesn't matter who they are or what I'm talking about. But I just want to say, hey guys, here's our purpose and our goal for being here today. And then on the right side, it's got participants and contact info. So it gives me a reason. Hey guys, I'm filling this out. Give me that best cell phone number, best email for you. Okay, perfect. All right, on the left side, we're going to talk about issues and key points. And on the right side, we're going to talk about the direction that we're headed and the deadlines that we have. And it's got little check boxes. Oh, I should have made a whole planner about just that. But I got 2 pages, and so I'm just gonna have to do a bunch of them, and then I'll figure out next year what this planner looks like, and maybe we'll offer it to the group and make it as cheap as we can. So that's what I got. I'm excited. It's heavy. I got to get it all filled out and bring all my other ones in again. I save all my other ones from each year so I can go back into them and see what I was battling the year before.
You think it's worth doing an integrated quarterly? Want to break it down, have all the information you want, break it down into quarters, and then at the end of the year they somehow kind of go together.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think that would be great. You kind of know I break my life down like that already.
That's why I
Um,
mentioned it.
okay, good. Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. Like by within 2 weeks, this thing will have something on every month written down, um, and most of it's just making time for everything and everybody. That
Yeah, I
monthly
guess you wouldn't
expense,
want to break it down into 4 more sections after you already broke it down. That wouldn't make any sense.
I would lose it. I would
Yeah, that's
lose
what I
it. It
mean.
has to be this heavy. And when I walk in and you set it down, people are like, "Oh, dang, what is that?" It's like, "Oh yeah, that's my brain box. That's it." So anyway, oh goodness. T-Pain's commenting in there. I'm going to talk about what we're doing next month because we only got one more week before we jump into February. So special guests coming on. The order is not determined. Probably what we're going to do is if Sam's got somebody that he wants on, he'll probably lead the conversation that week. If I got somebody I want on, maybe I'll lead it that week. But I'm going to have Ryan Muller on. If you guys don't know about Ryan Muller, good buddy of ours from high school. He's a professional 3-gun shooter, travels the world shooting guns, very influential in some different things. And then he also got paralyzed in a dirt bike accident right in front of his house. And luckily, through all the different therapies and different things that he had going on, the paralysis was temporary, but some things are just still there. He learned a whole lot about muscle recovery, nerve recovery, things like that, as quick as possible. You guys all know that my brother Jordan is in a wheelchair. He got paralyzed way back in the day on a 4-wheeler and remains in a wheelchair. And those were totally different accidents that weren't the same. The type of impact Muller had versus what Jordan had, totally different. And that's why he's able to recover differently. But I want to bring Muller in here. He learned so much about peptides and different things. He's got a cousin that is a doctor that is taking care of him and other people in the community. She's down in Oklahoma. So I think that's just one resource. So he's one of the special guests. He said February looks a lot better for him. So that's kind of what we're doing right now is establishing an outline for this, deciding who's going to be where, and then we'll get things scheduled and you'll know a little sooner about these events and who's coming on there so you can ask good questions.
I like that. I'm going to reach out and try to get some schedules going for a few of the guys I'm thinking of. So perfect.
We only have 17 minutes left. That's the funny thing is how are we going to talk for an hour and then we talk for 43 before we look at the clock. So
Yeah.
I really like Travis coming on there today.
Yeah. Once we figured out how to get him on, and then like he was on and then went off, like that's good. So, well, we got some more stuff to talk about, or we're going to have dead air.
We can do either one. Is anybody over in the comments section? We got 7 people watching right now, so that's our most that we've had. But somebody type something out there in the comments if you'd like to, or again down below you can hit that little guy on your phone with the plus sign, and that will invite you to the group. Sam will get you clicked in here. You can go live.
I think we got Jared Cagle coming on.
Good. He said his phone was dead, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I don't know when he put that request in.
How does that pop up for you? Does that just show up there? Yeah, he sent a request, it says.
Yeah, there's like a
Try it one more
person.
time, Jared. Go in there and click that little guy with the plus sign. Got Dustin Marks saying, my opinion on planners, getting folks to just use one would be a big step. It could be a dog calendar from SEK Auto. Oh, that's funny. We got Dave in here watching too, so perfect timing.
All right, hang on a second, Jared. Try it again. We got to be a little patient, I think. All right, don't press nothing. Just let it hang out.
Everybody wants those SEK calendars.
I like the old nitty stock ones all old mechanic shops had.
Yeah. Those are the days. I don't know why Cagle can't get in here. He also can only see one of us at a time, he said. He said he could only see your ear.
Yeah, it says adding on my screen.
It's all right.
David says you're going to get new calendars next year.
Yep. Good. I got something exciting. I mean, a reset. I'll just talk about it. I got turned down for a job this week, and it was one that I really thought I wanted. And I'm mentally committed to a new organization. I was ready to rock. Sam knows about this already, but it just didn't happen. And the reply back was, that they couldn't afford me, and how far apart we were was so minimal. It was ridiculous. But I have to think about that owner, that business owner, and what he's going through and how he's holding his cards and what he's looking at. It's like my job is to turn up and to run organizations and to grab 151 employees and start marching, He needed a replacement for himself within the organization. He'd been there so long. But it gets frustrating when people know you, like you, trust you. They treat you with a different respect than people that don't. And so my wife and I are rethinking that and looking at it again and getting ready for what's next for us. And man, that kind of gets a little fire going in my belly and excites me. So I'm excited for that. That's the next big reset for 2026 is coming for us.
And that's exciting. And I was loosely referring to that earlier. So that's the thing that a lot of people don't ever get the opportunity to A, have the choice, or B, get that feeling. They just don't know what that is. So I mean, that truly is the epitome of Dude Reset is deciding that you want to do something different for you and your family, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I don't have anything else. I'm happy to wrap this thing up if you want to, Sam. And we'll try it again next week and get some more people on. The 5 questions are posted in the group. I'm going to go back to them one more time if you guys want to look. And this is really just an outline for if you're making a post in the group and you don't know what to say, look at these 5 questions, okay? So we're going to start right at the top. Why the reset? What do you need? What are you struggling with? What does this mean? I just gave an example. Like I was so frustrated that I didn't get this opportunity. Am I not good enough, or did I say it wrong, or are they just assholes and it wasn't going to happen? And then number 2, favorite fitness routine or stress reliever. And I mean, pull-ups or whatever it could be, that's fine, but mine is distance. If I just go get enough distance in the day, then it clears my mind. I can't stay in a gym. I look at all the people. I'm so distracted. I got to get some distance in. Daily food intake, again, what you're eating, what you're putting in is what you become. Number 4, struggles you're having with your reset. And that's going to be on you. Like those are your problems that you want to talk about. And like Sam said, if we get in a circle and we light a fire, everybody writes it on there. You remember it from church groups and stuff like that. Like, hey, what am I struggling with? And you write down your sins and then you burn it in the fire. That's real. And you put it to action. You set it. It's there. Whether you keep it on your sheet of paper or you say it out loud and then you burn it in the fire because you're in charge of it. That's what number 4 is about. Struggles you are having with your reset. And then number 5 is the accountability you want from the group. We're dudes. You have to give us an action item or we will not do anything. So give us those action items.
So next Tuesday, I just looked up. I'm going to be up in your neck of the woods. I got to go back to the VA for a little surgery. So I'm going to be incognito that night. So next week's on you. So keep it going no matter what.
Okay.
Even if you get on there and blab for an hour. But I had one other thing.
You need a brain box to write this down.
I got a whiteboard. It's just too cold in the garage, man. I'm telling you, when spring comes, this is going to be a game changer.
Piece of paper. That's it. All right. Hey, I'm glad to see everybody back here. And, I see a lot of you through the week, and the words of encouragement are good. Me and Sam are just a bunch of silly guys out here trying to figure out what's next. Dave says we better check on Moody. He hasn't made it back yet. So
I just tried to add him, and this could be me that something's not jiving on my deal to add, because I just tried to add Moody.
Oh, here he is. Here he is.
I can't see anybody, but I can see myself. I guess that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know how you change that setting. We're so bad at this stuff, but yeah, I can see all 3 of you on my phone.
I seen y'all a little bit ago, then, but I appreciate the shout out there, David. Yeah, I didn't fall in. I'm good. I'm all safe. My wife's actually, she's in Florida for business, so she called, so I had to take that phone call, so I had to jump off for a second.
Sure. Well, yeah, I was telling Sam I was the one that invited you. I saw some of the stuff that you had posted, and again, I'm kind of just trying to invite anybody that is like-minded or has something that they want to contribute to. So glad you're here today. You want to give us maybe part of the 5 questions, or tell us what you're doing down there right now?
So I'm about 3 years into what I would call my reset. I don't really feel honestly that I struggle with anything at this point. I think we've already kind of went over that we all kind of we're in different stages. And I'm kind of at that stage where everything's just consistent. I mean, I do kind of the same thing over and over and over because I want to. I wake up every day. I work at 6:30, 7:30 every morning, except for Wednesday and Sundays. Those are my dedicated days off. And luckily, I have an accountability partner that I work out with. It just so happens that our schedules just worked out fine, and we've actually worked out for over maybe 2.5 years together.
That's awesome.
Which is great. It's great to have somebody like that because not every day do you wake up feeling great. Some days I wake up with a little headache or joints. I'm 44 now. So joints start to hurt. And I'm not a small guy either by any stretch of the imagination. But so I got joints and aches and pains. I have an old man hip now is what I call it. My left hip. It don't act the same anymore. He's 41. We have a saying that we honor the body. We go in the gym. If something's acting up, something's acting silly, we just take it easy. Because I think I posted a week or two ago that consistency over intensity. I say that all the time. I'm a pretty intense person, especially when it comes to anything. Actually, my mentality has kind of always been all in or not in at all, regardless of what I'm doing in life, whether it be my job or a relationship or the gym. Unfortunately, the same goes true with food because I like food, so I'm all in with food. But yeah, so if we have a bad day, we have an off day. We take it easy, but we still show up, because I know Aaron's going to be there, so Aaron's counting on me to be there. So I get up and I go, as opposed to, just take it easy and staying in bed. But I think probably the most inspirational thing for me that I could leave with anybody, and this kind of applies regardless what, at the start of your journey, regardless what that is, like my journey started with health, I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and they were trying to put me on medication. I don't even like to take ibuprofen. So I fought it. And my doctor was, he knows that I don't like to take medication. So he worked with me, gave me 3 months, and 3 months came around. And I thought I did good when actually my A1C got worse. And he was like, hey, let's go ahead and get you on some medication. And I said, no, doc, give me 3. That was when the switch flipped, that switch flips in your head and you're like, okay, I'm all in now. It took that real serious scare for me to finally say, okay, let's do this. And then in 3 months, I was lucky enough. It wasn't a requirement for the medication. I was able to beat it naturally in 3 months. I dropped 30 pounds. My A1C went back to normal range. And for me, it was calorie counting. Like I had to, because I didn't think I was eating that much, but I was. So it's a matter of actually counting what was going in, and then working. At that time, I worked out 7 days a week. I didn't give myself a rest because there's 2 types of motivation, internal and external. And usually, people that are motivated like I was is because you're running from something. It's an internal motivation. It's the fear of dying or leaving your family early or some kind of internal motivation, and that's what it was for me that I was running from. And that, the external motivation is kind of that motivation. You look in the mirror and after about 3 months, that mirror motivation kind of falls away or, excuses kind of get in the way. But that internal motivation just kept me driving, kept me going. But back to what I was saying earlier, probably the best advice I could give anybody, or at least what affected me the most, and I think I post this, and I'm sure I post this everywhere. Every time I get a chance, I put it out there because it meant so much to me, and it changed the way that my mind thought about everything. And this affected absolutely every aspect of my life. The Aristotle said that there was three things that a man needs on a daily basis to be complete. You need to feed your mind, feed your body, and feed your spirit, feed your soul. And when I heard that for the first time, I realized that my entire life I had always done two of those three things, but never all three of those at the same time. And it wasn't till about 3 years ago that I finally started every single day. You know, because it's easy to feed my mind. I love to learn new things. I love podcasts. I love I with my job, I'm able to have an earpiece in all day long. So I'm able to do audio books and all that kind of stuff. So I'm always feeding my mind. That's easy. Feeding my body, that's more of like the health side of things, right? So you eating good, exercising, that kind of stuff. There's stages in my life where I would do those two. But then I wouldn't be spiritual. Like I didn't dive in the Bible. For me, I'm a Christian. I'm, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. So for me, it was, I wasn't diving in the Bible. I was surrounding myself with like-minded believers and joining into men's groups and just being involved in the church. But then when my life would shift and then I would go into, the spiritual side of things, then I would fall away from the health side of things. And finally, 3 years ago, I had all three things of those, and they all came together. And then on an every single day basis, I'm not necessarily reading my Bible every day, though I do try to do that. It was one of my goals this year, matter of fact. But I pray every single day. Every single day, I pray for something. Without a doubt, every single day. So, that could be, sometimes prayer for me is also just silent. And that's, meditation or whatever you want to call it, whatever works for you. But spiritually, I'm diving into that. It's easy for me mentally to test my mind and grow my mind. And then now I'm hooked on, and addicted to the gym. So I just work out 5 days a week, sometimes 6. It just kind of depends, kind of how things go. Like last night, I went back for a second workout last night because the morning, it just wasn't a good workout, and I didn't feel complete there. So nighttime came around, and my wife's in Florida for business, and my mom. I'm actually at my mom's house visiting with her, but she's our youngest. Actually, she's running a fever. I don't know what she has, but she's running a fever. I don't know if she has a flu or anything like that, but mom's taking care of her. So I'm over here visiting with her and the child. But I had an opportunity to run to the gym last night. So I ran up there and got another workout in just because I didn't feel like I had a good enough one before. That's part of that addiction, but I guess it's a healthy addiction as long as you're taking care of yourself. But for me, those three things is what it is. It was when I finally, every single day, had those three things is when I finally would feel complete on a daily basis. And sometimes the feeding your body part is the rest day too, right? So your rest day, your intentional rest days. It's hard for me to go, when I was working out 7 days a week, it was hard for me to jump back to only doing 6 to 5 days a week, because it was always like, no, go, got to do more. Until I finally, because resting was hard for me to do, but finally I had to make that rest day intentional. And then it was okay, like convince myself in my mind that it's okay, that, hey, you need to, part of growing is also resting.
Your mic's off, Jared.
That was great. I didn't know if you were taking a drink or wrapping that up. I appreciate you pouring it all out at us, telling us what was going on, what you've been up to.
Yeah, that's the easiest and probably the most influential thing that I could probably leave everybody with. But of course, it's all full circle for me. It started off health, but then it not only does it when you put things in perspective. And you start, first, like I said, 3 years ago, start off my health, got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and the fear of dying early and all that kind of stuff. Just the fear of leaving my kids and all that kind of stuff. It puts a lot more things in perspective, especially, most of us are probably on here right now are probably into our 40s or in our late 30s, I'm assuming. And so a lot of things, your perspective on a lot of things changes. So I've been really intentional about trying to be, obviously I've gotten a lot more involved in my church and I'm on an encouragement level. I've opened up, I've shared so much to help people in my community and in my church and my church family, from all kinds of different aspects. From health, me and my wife, about 3 or 4 years ago, we decided to become debt free, and of all consumer debt. We've almost got our mortgage knocked out as well. But we've been focused on that, and just so the financial side of things, cleaning things up in our lives. And then also being very, very intentional about our marriage and staying connected. I actually did a class in our church just it's probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago now, a Bible class, and it was talking about boundaries in marriage actually. But most of that I talked about was how our marriage is our most important relationship in our life. And from a big biblical standpoint, I believe it's Genesis 2:42 or 24, somewhere right around there. Our children it says that our children are to cleave and leave. So that's, from a biblical standpoint, our children are going to leave our household, and you're 40% more likely to get divorced as empty nesters. They have a term for it. I can't remember. I'm slipping my mind right now. But so me and my wife have been real intentional on making sure that we make date nights. Every Friday night we go on a date together. We go out to eat together, and just to help continue to build our relationship as we raise our children at the same time. And just being intentional about being more present father for myself, more present father, present husband. So all this, going back to what Aristotle said earlier, this completely changed my entire life, my view on things, and helped kind of hone me in to be more intentional on things that I do in my life.
That's awesome, man.
I was gonna say, man, it's a beautiful thing to hear, because this is what this group needs to hear, is more of this. And I too have on about 3 years of a real reset, 5, whatever, right? But like the same thing in the gym, and the time and what we learn, and then what we are able to let go. And it's just like, it's not necessarily about pushing the weight some days. It's about what happens while you're pushing the weight some days. Sure. And so I too, once I picked up the good book and found Jesus, my whole existence changed. And so I guarantee a lot of us are operating skewed in life. We're out of balance. We're out of whack. And
absolutely,
and you have to have that pillar of faith to have some direction to move forward. So that can be another topic. I guarantee we can get some really good dudes in here on that topic, and maybe that is a topic we need to have. But we got to the hour tonight, and we got a lot of good comments, and we've learned some tech issues. Moody is an absolute inspiration to me. I've known the guy essentially my whole life. I just learned more about him in the last 4 minutes than I've ever would have known had this group not existed, right? And that's the people I want in my life. I want inspirational men in my life. I'm tired of fucking scumbags trying to hone me into their way of life, man. I'm a chameleon. Like, you want to party, I'm your guy. You want to go to church and learn how to love, I'm your guy. Like, that's who I want to be around. That's what I need in life. And so this conversation, it just opened another new door for Dude Reset. And that's what this group is about. I didn't want to be the one sitting up here on the pedestal talking about Jesus is my savior, but if everybody else does, then we need to have that conversation, and sure. Why did I come to it so late in life at the angle I did? I'll be glad to tell that story. So anyway, beautiful.
Yeah. Yep. I appreciate it, man. What I'd say also is, as we get ready to plan a retreat in the spring, I'd love to have you be in charge of something, one of those little spots that we got. If you're up for something like that, we'll keep it in mind, and we'll figure out what that itinerary looks like and give you your time if that makes sense, and let Sam figure out what we're doing, when and where. There's going to be
the reality is it'll be July. The weather, don't worry about the weather, because the spot's shaded and it's got a cool water breeze front to it. Like, it's exceptional. We got to let the ticks do their thing, because it's nature. So we can't fight nature in the spring, and we're not having a winter, so spring's going to be nasty anyway. So we'll do a summer thing, and that's when we got time in the day, the sun hangs out and all the stuff. So I'll start penciling some stuff for that and bring that to the group. But I think next week I'm definitely going to show up. I won't be in the full condition to have all my wits, because I don't have them anyway. But if next week's topic goes this direction, we can take it that way. And if we do, I'm going to invite some more guys to make sure they're there. So anywho, this is a great Tuesday Night Live second edition. Moody, appreciate you wholeheartedly.
Sure.
And let's keep at it, man. This is what we got. This is what we all need.
Moody, anything you want to see out of the group? Any challenge you want to give the guys to do something?
Well, I really challenge everybody to take a look back, and make sure that you're feeding yourself, like I said, in those 3 areas of your life every single day. And start small. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be crazy. If it's, and I'll be 100% honest with you guys. Up until the last couple of years, I was so uncomfortable to pray in front of people. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know the right words. But really, it's as simple as this. If you don't have, and I also encourage you to do this in front of your kids as well. If you're a Christ follower, to pray in front of your kids, be the spiritual leader in the home. This is not a shot at my dad by any stretch of imagination. If you know my dad, he was a great man, but my dad didn't have that figure, so he didn't know. But my dad wasn't that person in my life. But it did take some people in my life to kind of, other men in my life to show me that example. But I want to leave you with this. If you don't know how to pray, just start off with, I always start off with the thanks. And my go-to is, thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to wake up. And then, you can pray for, how your day is going to go or whatever, whatever's on your heart, or pray for somebody. And then just, at the end, close it with, in Jesus' name we pray. And amen. And it's just as simple as that. It doesn't have to be special. It doesn't have to be crazy. But just make a habit of that. And that right there alone will just start to change you. Just one little prayer a day will start to change you from the spiritual side of things, right? So I'll just leave you with that. Just a little encouragement there, and see what that does for you.
Sounds good. I appreciate it, man.
I love it.
Sam, you wrapping us up? Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, dudes. We'll see you next week. If you got any good content, post it in the group, and we appreciate you. And this isn't even for you; it's for all the people that you guys are around. So understand the big picture, and then this stuff will start to flow a little bit. So, dudes, appreciate you. Stice, appreciate you. And we'll see you guys next week, man.
Bye bye.